Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Stephen Lose, and I'm the Director of Outpatient Mental Health Services at Central Minnesota Mental Health Center. Here at CMMHC, our heart is broken after the tragic events that happened in Buffalo, and we want you all to know that we stand with you and that we want to support you in the days, weeks, months, and years to follow. Today, what I'm going to talk about is some of the common reactions that happen to individuals where tragedy in the community has occurred. So one of the things that happens is despite our best efforts, we tend to think constantly about those events, constantly about that tragedy. And so we just want to normalize that's a really common experience. Along with that, it is seeking out as much information as possible about the events leading up to and after the tragedy. And so we might be overly involved in conversation, social media, or news in a way that sometimes can become unhealthy, right? And so we want to be mindful of our thoughts. We want to be mindful of the way that we consume our media, and so that we can give ourselves time to heal and take breaks from that content. Another way that this shows up is that we tend to lose sleep or dream about those events. And again, we want to say that that's a pretty normal occurrence. Another thing that happens in the face of tragedy is that this idea that we're invincible, the idea that we're protected from this has been shattered as the violence has come into our community. And so we can become very anxious or worried about everything. We can see evil and death everywhere, and that can create anxiety and worry. So again, another really normal reaction. And while I share these normal reactions, know that trauma impacts us all differently. And so these symptoms may show up for you, or they may look very different for you. The flip side of worry and anxiety is feeling numb. And so we might not feel anything at all. It's important not to judge that either, that these are our feelings, these are our thoughts, and these are the reactions that we might be experiencing. Yet another symptom that we might commonly notice in ourselves or others is survival guilt. So this belief that it should have happened to us, or feeling terrible that it happened to other people and not to us. And we can feel great worry and guilt about that as well. Dealing with all of these things can be really challenging. And so sometimes we look for unhealthy ways to escape. Since we can't shut off the mind, since we can't shut off our heart, sometimes we start engaging in alcohol and substance use as a way of turning those things off. And so we just want to give you a heads up that those are normal things to occur, but can be really unhealthy in our recovery process. So pay attention to what you're eating, pay attention to what you're consuming, and paying attention to your overall health. Another common reaction to community tragedy is that our own thoughts might turn to death and to suicide. And that's obviously a really concerning one. And so while I say that all of these are common reactions to trauma, we want to talk about them and talk about that if you're struggling with any of these things, that it's okay to ask for help. And we want you all in the community to know that if you reach out, we will be offering same day and next day appointments at Central Minnesota Mental Health Center and with our crisis line. And certainly reach out to anyone. It doesn't have to be Central Minnesota Mental Health Center, but we want you to know that these are some common reactions and that we are here to help.